I'm delighted to bring up our first case study. It's very much on point because of the world we are living in, the changes that we are facing in all of our lives and the challenges that local authorities are facing. It tackles the green issue that is all present as to how local authorities can be seen as leaders. So to talk about the installation of solar panel carports at county buildings in the wonderful county of Wicklow, will you please welcome the Assistant Senior Engineer for Housing, Gillian Power.
Thank you, Jonathan, for the introduction. Just waiting for my slides to come up there. So this is the solar carport that has been installed in county buildings in Wicklow town. It's the largest solar carport in Ireland and covers 103 parking spaces. So it's a 300 kilowatt solar system, and the primary objective of this project was to replace 40% of the fossil energy used at county buildings with greener energy. And this was an ideal site for solar panels as it is an exposed southern aspect. Just to put it into context, the significant energy users in Wicklow County Council, county buildings came in at 4%, so it uses 4% of the energy that Wicklow County Council uses. And it's in fourth place after public lighting, transport and the swimming pools. In terms of timelines, a detailed energy audit was carried out of county buildings in 2018, and it identified solar panels as a key opportunity to reduce the carbon footprint. We went to Part 8 in 2019, and e-tenders advertisement was started in February 2020. We got interest from 3 different suppliers. 2 were from Ireland and 1 was from Italy. The contract was signed towards the end of the year and work started in May 2021, and actual supply from the solar panels started in April 2022. We identified a number of challenges from the outset. We had no suitable roof space on the building due to overshadowing. And although you'll see a lot of these solar carports at airports in Portugal and Spain, there was no similar Irish projects to look to. And I work in the housing section, and county buildings fall under our remit. So there was no in-house expertise in designing these large steel structures or larger solar panel projects. And also, once you put the solar panels onto a large steel structure, the cost of the project doubles straight away. And another interesting point, back in 2020, when we were evaluating this project, the winning tender came in with a price per unit for the solar energy of 12 cents per kilowatt. And this was significantly higher than the grid price at that stage, which was just over 7 cents per kilowatt. So this project really was about greener energy and decarbonising. So to address some of those challenges, we looked at the form of contract that we could use. So we went with a design, install, finance, operate and maintain project. So this means that the winning tender, or Enerpower, who are a Waterford-based company, they design the system, and they own the system, and they'll take it away at the end of the project. And in return, Wicklow County Council will purchase all energy from the units at a fixed unit rate over a 20-year period. We have a buyout clause, and the form of contract that we use is an SEAI document called a local energy supply contract. In terms of risk sharing, we were concerned that we might not get enough interest from the market. So in addition to agreeing to pay for all energy produced from the solar panels, we also agreed that we would pay for a minimum amount of electricity from the grid, from the solar panels in a given year. And in this case, it worked out at about €32,000. And also, Wicklow County Council removed the inflation adjustment clause from the contract. Another advantage of this type of contract is there's no maintenance required from Wicklow County Council. The contractor monitors, maintains and repairs the panels, and it's in their own interest to do this because if part of the panel is dirty or overshadowed and undersupplied, say, by 20%, the entire array will undersupply by the same amount. Here's just a screen grab from the SEAI website, and at the time we were evaluating the project, this is what energy costs look like. So this is the green line shows the average energy cost for Irish businesses between 2007 and 2019. It generally stayed below 14 cents, and it even dips down quite a lot on occasion. Roll it on another 2 years, and that green line has shot upwards. And in terms of our own energy costs, we use an OGP procured supplier, and the day rate for electricity has gone up by over 400% from the start of this project. So back in 2020, energy prices from the grid were about 8 cents, and it went up to 43 cents per kilowatt this past winter. Now it has come back down. The summer rates are about 30 cents. And just an interesting point, if you're to average out the unit rate of energy that you're getting from the grid to include all the network charges and standing charges, that 43 cent jumps up to about 63 cent per kilowatt. And we're getting the solar energy at just under 12 cent per kilowatt. So what benefits are we actually getting from the solar panels? This is a screen grab from 2 weeks ago, and it shows a 24-hour period. And the red line shows the energy demand, the electricity demanded from county buildings. So we have a base load of about 30 kilowatts there, you can see from midnight until about 7 a.m. That's our base load. And then it jumps up to about 120 kilowatts for the day before dropping back down to a base load again at 8 o'clock in the evening. The blue line shows the energy that the electricity we're getting from the solar panels. So between about 8 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock in the evening, there's a good supply. And for a large period of the day, it meets the supply or the demand of county buildings. So the blue bar on top shows that on this October day, about 47% of the building's energy needs were met from the solar panels, and just over half of the electricity came from the grid. Situation looks better in the summer when the days are longer and the sun is stronger. So about 2/3 of the energy demanded from the building was supplied from the solar panels on that particular day. Here is a bar chart by the month. So the black dots show the grid energy consumed in 2021 before the solar panels were live, and the blue bars show the following year. So for the first 3 months of the year, there's not much difference. The solar panels weren't supplying energy. In April, they started supplying energy. So that gap between the dot and the bar shows that the grid energy that has been displaced by the solar electricity. So there's quite a large gap there for the summer months, May, June, July and August, and it does taper off a bit at the end of the year. In terms of what savings have actually been made, so I looked at the data from 2023 year to date. So the green text there shows that 68% of the solar energy from the solar panels went into the building and was used, and this cost us about 15,000. That's the payment to Enerpower, the people who own the system. And if we'd purchased that energy from the grid, it would have cost about 40,000 euros. So that's a saving of about 25,000 euros. However, the red text there on the right shows that 32% of the solar energy generated by the panels went unused by the grid or by the building and went back to the grid for free. So that energy would have cost about 7,000 euros. So overall, a net saving of probably about 17,000. The important text there is the blue text, and that shows that the building used 45% of electricity from the solar panels. So we've displaced a lot of grid energy at this stage. Reviewing the project, we've decided that the sizing and orientation of the panels are good. The panels do need to be of this scale to make financial sense. Electrical storage batteries were not an option for this site. And also, public buildings need to be upgraded by 2030, and that'll have an impact at our site as part of the building dates from the 70s, 80s and 90s. So as the building becomes more energy efficient, this could reduce the demand from the panels. However, if there's heat pumps and the electric EV fleet expands, that could increase demand. There were some learnings from the project. We possibly did miss out on an opportunity to put rainwater harvesting onto the system. And also there on the left is our solar panels. They're quite industrial looking. They're on a big steel structure and big concrete blocks. And on the right is an example from Europe. It's a solar panel system over a fruit market, and it's far more aesthetically pleasing, and that could be a great option for some of our public open spaces. Future variables. So I mentioned that 62% unused energy that goes back to the grid. So we had a couple of options. We looked into selling it to the grid, and we made our NC8 application to export the excess energy. However, this site is not eligible for export at this time due to the size of the array being too large for small-scale generation regulations. These regulations could be updated, but at present, not an option. So a second option there would be to run a cable from our solar panels on the right across the public road to the publicly owned swimming pool there on the left. So to do this, you'd run a cable across, you'd create your own little private network. And you'd benefit from cheaper energy from your panels. You'd avoid the standing charges and network charges. So this is called private wires. And interestingly, private wires is out to public consultation at the moment. But the downside to that is it's not currently permitted. So is this model repeatable? Yeah, it's a very suitable model where you have no usable roof space available to you. Also, a lot of our public swimming pools, they had combined heat and power units installed 15 years ago. They're coming to the end of their life. Gas is no longer cheap or green, so it could be a good option there. Also, if private wires or cell-to-grid options become available, this will be a huge opportunity for local authorities to use their large open sites to generate electricity. And just a final note, the design, build, finance, operate and maintain type contract that we used is a great opportunity for local authorities to progress renewable schemes like this. It reduces the burden on local authority from finance point of view, maintenance point of view, and even just human resource project management point of view. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gillian. That's just brilliant. It really is. I have to say, I installed solar panels in my house 3 years ago. I was way more smug than you were in explaining the benefits of them to all my friends and neighbours. And it gives rise to the question, why aren't we doing more of this? Why haven't we seen more solar panels out there? And you're definitely leading the way there in Wicklow. So it's great to hear. Yeah, air grid, eh?